everybody, I'm Veronica Stokes if you don't know me already, and this is my very first YouTube video at all. I've never done something like this before. I'm actually filming on my boyfriend's iPhone 11 rather than my phone because I only have the 8. So I intended on using a camera, but my SIM card, or what is those things called? SD card. It wasn't big enough for it to record the amount of time that I needed it. So for now we're going to use this. If you have any nice, what's that word?
Suggestions?
Nope.
Comments?
Constructive criticism. If you have any constructive criticism, go ahead and leave it down there for me. Or just give me a text if you're my friend or fam. I prefer that instead of on the internet where everyone can see it. And if you'd like to see how I got this look, it is inspired by Easter being tomorrow. And I know we're all home and bored and sad that we can't be with our families. So you can watch me if you get bored enough, which is pretty bored. So if you'd like to see how I got this, just keep watching before I keep talking. Alright, so I have to tuck this little piece of hair until the end. And I normally use these two primers together. This is for your pores and this is like a gripping primer. But for Easter, I think I want to be like, you know, whatever that is. Okay, so I'm going to put this one on first. I use my little tati thing sometimes, or your fingers. I have a lot of pores right here. And this thing really helps me like get around my nose piercing because it looks kind of gross, but I like push it out and go around it. My chin a little bit. And then now, instead of that gripping primer, I'm going to use this one. This is the Becca Blacklight Priming Filter. Every time I use this, I can't figure out what it smells like. I was like, I want to say this like lemony dish soap, but that doesn't sound very appetizing. And then for foundation, this is my favorite foundation right now, the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. I was getting tan going outside, and then now we're stuck inside, so I'm gonna mix these two colors together. I have 455 Natural Buff and 425 Linen. Mostly the darker one, just a tad of the light one because I don't want to look orange. Just mix it up like this, and then dab it on a little bit. And then I'm using the regular size Blendiful. It's a little dirty. Whoa. I always go like this area of my face first just to make sure that it's definitely blended out. And I'm doing like a fast pressing and like light rubbing to like do a mixture. I have a lot of redness in my face, and this foundation does a really good job at covering it, but I don't like to be like completely covered. Like, I'm not someone who loves full coverage, and I also don't like feeling like I have a mask on my face. I mean, special occasions like prom and stuff, okay, but day to day. And then I always have extra on my hand because I don't know how to knot. And I'll put that on my neck. For concealer, I'm a very like mixed person. I'm noticing like I use a lot of products in conjunction together. Lately I've been using the e.l.f. the hydrating one. I haven't tried the regular one, but I saw this on Walmart one day and I was like, okay. So this one is in light peach. I'll do this one first, and if I don't like how bright it is, I'm gonna go in with my Benefit concealer in number 2, and that will always brighten up no matter what concealer I have underneath. This concealer is very like, I don't know how to explain it. Very creamy, so I don't like to put too much at first. And then I also will do under my eyes first before I put the rest on my face because I feel like it can get a little weird when it dries, like waiting. And I also use the Blendiful for this. I really like this. I haven't used foundation brushes pretty much since I got it. And I use my concealer as my eye primer. I really want to get that P. Louise one that everyone on YouTube is talking about, but I just haven't gotten it yet. So for now, concealer will do. And this really helps me like kind of get the shape of my cheekbone, because like sometimes I feel like, especially with a drastic change in color with your concealer, it can look a little like, you can just tell where it is. And I like to really make sure everything looks seamless on my face. I don't like lines. I don't think anybody does. Always check that little crease by your nose too, because when I miss that and then I go out, I'm like, oh crap. And usually by the time you set everything, it's a little harder to get in there. So I like to double check. To set underneath my eyes, I'm going to use the Kylie powder. I use the soft pink one. And then before I do this, I just like to go over my concealer. I'm just blending over here again to make sure there's no creases, because I don't want to set the creases. Then I take a little bit, press it in gently. Not too hard, because you don't want to like pick up the product and remove it. You want to place it there. And I kind of set my whole T-zone with my under eye powder, like no matter what I'm using, because I feel like I want that to be the center of my face, the lighter parts of my face. So I do my chin, and I like blow my cheeks like this, and go right here to help with like you smile. So I do that, and then my forehead. And I feel like when you do powder, whether you use this or like a sponge with the powder, I just feel like it goes in so much better. I don't know why. But that's what I do. And then lightly go over my eyelid. And then for the rest of my face, I'm pretty oily, so I do set my face with powder. Obviously, if you are one of those people who can look nice and dewy without looking disgusting, you don't have to do this. And I set my face like very well, because my foundation will literally break up on my face if I don't. Now I'm gonna bronze my face. This is the Fenty bronzer in the color Shady Biz. And I'm gonna bronze. I bronze pretty all over. More of a bronze than a contour, I would say. I always blend towards my hair, so I don't want nothing to look funky. Brush it. And for blush, I'm going to use my Kathleen Lights in collaboration with ColourPop, because I'm obsessed with her. This is the one I'm going to use today. It's called I Need Space. This blush is just very neutral, good for, I want to do something a little more colorful on my eyes, so I don't like it to be too much going on my face. And I like to smile and put it pretty close to my under eye. I think he's gonna lay right there. Alright. Sometimes you just have to tap the brush on your face an extra like 19 times, and then you feel better about it. I don't know what it is. And then, oh my gosh, I almost forgot. So before I do my like bling bling highlight, since it's a springy look and I want dewy, fake dewy because I set my face, this powder is like perfect for people like me and you, if you're like me and you have oily face but you want to look dewy without looking gross. This is the Brighten Up Luminous Powder, and the color is Brighten Up, but the product is a luminous powder from Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. If you don't like her, you should still try this. And gently, I'll do half of my face first so you can see what it does. I shake off the extra, and then you just kind of blend it into your skin, obviously. Gently. And it just makes you look like healthy, dewy without looking crazy. And then now I'll go in with my highlight on my cheekbones. Also from Jaclyn Hill, they're just my favorite at the moment. And then this is the Morphe J809. And I'm gonna use this color right here. A little bit on my Cupid's bow. A little bit on my nose. These highlights are crazy, so I have to be a little bit careful unless I want to look crazy. And then for my cheeks, I'm gonna mix it with the gold one actually, since I'm a little bit darker now. And when I put my highlight on, I always do this over it. I don't know why, but I hate when it looks like a stripe on your face. I don't think that's flattering, so that's what I do to like blend it into everything else I got going on. Sometimes go over my cheeks. Same thing over here. I always have a harder time making this side as shiny as this side. I don't know if it's the way my eyes are, because it's my left side or what, but that is something that I struggle with, if anyone was wondering. Say hi. Okay, so I'm gonna use my Benefit eyebrow pencil because it's my favorite. And number 3. And actually, I'm missing a crucial step. The first thing I do in my eyebrows now, whoa. First, we're gonna put a little bit of lip balm on before we continue because at the end, I don't want my lips to be chapped. Okay, so first I do eyebrow gel to kind of get them in the fluffier shape that I want before I fill them in. This is the ColourPop, the clear one. It just looks gross because I use it a lot. And I kind of brush them up, fluff them up before I start. And then I'm just gonna fill them in like normal. Probably not gonna leave this part in because it takes me like 10 solid minutes to do my eyebrows. Okay, and then after I finish filling them in, I go over them one more time with a little bit more gel. Alright, so I zoomed in a little bit to show you guys my eyes. And to start, I'm using the Jawbreaker palette. Don't know how well you can see it. And I'm gonna take this color right here, Virgin, go over my concealer, make sure it is set well before I start. And then I want to do something pastel-y, and I want to use this on my lid, I think, one of these little pigments. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. For my first crease shade, I'm going to take Good Morning right here. It's like a very light pink, but I'm thinking if I build it up, it'll give me that transition that I want. And I'm using the Morphe JH30, which is also like a little hair on that, like a domed blending brush. This is pretty much what I always use for this step. I always really focus right in here where like my bone of my eyebrow and like the outer edge of my eye meet, and constantly blend that, because by the end, for me at least with my eye shape, sometimes colors will kind of build up along there and it doesn't look blended, and I don't like that. So if you have that problem, just try to really follow that bone with your brush. I don't know if I want to go in with like a brown in my crease or a purple, because I know if I put purple, that's going to take it real colorful real fast. I'm just going to take a little bit of this brown right here from this Jaclyn Hill, the new one. This little brown right here called Perfectionist. Just go over that light pink. Alright, so I'm going to do that a few times until I get it to the color that I want. Alright, so now we got a little bit of a crease color laid down. Okay, so I decide I'm just going to keep building that color up. I always blend out, like even if it feels a little unnatural, in my opinion at least, it's more flattering to blend out like these. And I always, whether I'm in front of my vanity lights or here or a bathroom, I always turn my head in like different lights to see, because sometimes like straight on it'll look okay, and then you turn to the side and you're like, oh, need to get right there, oh, need to get right there. You know, that's how I make sure everything is even as I can possibly get it. And now I'm gonna take this little brush right here. It is the Jaclyn Hill JH37, and I'm gonna take a little bit of a deeper brown right here. This one is called Comfort Zone. And I'm just gonna go straight into my crease with this. And then in between colors that I add, I always go back in with my first brush and just go over everything with nothing on it. I didn't put anything extra. You can put extra if you want to adjust. I probably will slowly throughout. This little mini color switch from Sephora, this little thing. It gets the color off your brush pretty well if you don't have time to like wash in between. It's really helpful when you're doing a colorful look. Take a little bit of Oh Hello from the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. I'm just going to take a touch of it because last time I used it, these were very, very, very pigmented. And I'm going to put that right here in the outer corner. I like to tap before I start to blend. I feel like I have more control. And I'm just going in really tiny little circles to try and keep it right there. And I'm kind of hugging underneath that brow bone to bring it in just a tad. This is a little more pink than I would like, but that's fine. Okay, so since that was not really the color that I was going for, I'm gonna go back over with some brown. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take this pigment and I'm gonna put that on the eyes and then go from there with the color story. So I'm gonna take my NYX glitter primer and I'm just gonna squirt a tiny bit on the back of my hand, because obviously you don't need too much for your eyeballs. And I'm gonna take just a little flat brush, any flat brush that you have. Good. This is the Morphe M167 right here. Just a little flat brush. And then I'm gonna use this pigment and I'm gonna put this all over my lid. And this is the Crab. This is from the ColourPop Kathleen Lights, another collab of hers. She has a bunch. And I'm gonna place it right here on the center of my eye, pat it where I want. And I'm just gonna take the other side, I'm gonna flip it, and I'm gonna dip it into that color, and I'm gonna press over the glue. Now I'm gonna go in with some Brain Freeze from the Jawbreaker palette, and I'm gonna just kind of blend that blue around the shiny blue that we just added to try and combine these colors that we have going on. Alright, I'm not really liking how that is blending, so I'm taking a different brush. This is the Jaclyn JH35, same color, but it's just not really blending very great. And I'm not really getting Easter vibes from this, so I'm getting a little upset. It's okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna try Not My Journey, just a little bit. For that, I'm gonna take the Jaclyn Hill JH40. It's like a really tiny little dome pencil brush thing. I don't know, it's really good for under the lash line too, but I just like how flimsy it is. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that purple just a little bit. And I see that I'm getting some fallout because I decided to not put powder there, forgot. So I'm gonna brush that away, and then now I think I'm gonna put some powder there. I'm just gonna take some of this Kylie powder and throw it underneath. I really like that purple, but I feel like my crease isn't deep enough for what's going on. Actually, let's try going back to that blue. First brush that we use with a little bit of the browns to try and keep everything cohesive. Let's do a little more glue, a little more of the pigment. Alrighty, I like how that looks. So for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with Gumdrop. This pastel purple out of the Jawbreaker palette. And then I'm gonna go back into that Good Morning color that we tried to build up with the first, in the first crease shade that we used. And I'm gonna use that just directly under to blend out that purple. And then now for the final step of the, two steps left. First, I'm gonna go back into the highlight that we used on our face. And I'm gonna take any little tiny brush, and I'm gonna take the lightest color to highlight my brow bone. Just a little. Okay, there we go. And then we're gonna go with this glue one more time. And on the inner corner, I'm gonna use, not that one, this pigment, also from the same collection with Kathleen Lights and ColourPop in the shade The Maiden. So pretty. And before I do my mascara, I'm gonna set my face. I'm gonna use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh setting spray. It smells like coconuts. And then I'm going to curl my lashes, like Kathleen Lights would say. Ow! Something pinched me. So what I'm going to use is the Maybelline Lash Stiletto. My best friends recommended it to me. I think they saw it on The Bachelor or something. If you know anything about that, I don't watch it, sorry. I'm just going to... Alright, and now we're done with that. For lips. Lippy, lippy, lip. Obviously, I gotta be neutral because... I mean, you don't gotta be, but I'm gonna be. So, I think I'm gonna do this one. This is GRWM 1.5. Highly recommend. Let me just say, I'm not a lip lining expert. Does anyone else feel like this? Your lip line is fuller than the pigment of your lips. Like my lip line comes out to like here, but there's no color. So it really makes me upset, but that's what lip liner's for. I'm gonna take this one right here. This is Baddest Beige from Maybelline. I'm gonna do a little bit of gloss on top of that. I'm gonna take my Jeffree Star Legends Only. Sorry, Legends Only. And that, my friends, that's it, we're done. Didn't know where I was going with that. Oh, I'm just kidding. You know, I'm just kidding. Okay, enough of that. Alright guys, this is the finished look. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, I promise I'll come up with better, cohesive, planned out looks. If you'd like to see more, give me a thumbs up and I will continue making videos. And if you have any suggestions on how I can make the video sound better, look better, anything like that, let me know. And thank you so much for watching.